Hi friends, it's Valerie. Welcome back to another week's What's for Dinner. I hope that you're having a good week and I hope that you're staying safe out there with all this coronavirus stuff going on. It's been a crazy week and no one's been able to find anything in my area when it comes to food or meats, canned goods, toilet paper, anything you would need in your home. And honestly, it's quite scary. And the people who started this are all the people who hoarded the toilet paper. What's up with that, guys? Well, all I know is I hope you're staying safe. Let me know down below what area you live in, how things are there. I'm very interested to see. I know that my area is heavily populated, it being LA and all. It's just crazy. Let's get started on this food. This first meal is a spicy sausage pasta. First, I'm starting off by prepping the ingredients I will need. I'm dicing up some onion. Normally I would use a medium to large yellow onion, but I didn't have any, so I'm just using a couple small red onions that I had. You got time, and you know what to figure out. This ain't in a dream, a place where it seems that love will come around. So don't stay. Then you will need 2 cups of chicken broth, and I'm just making that from some Better Than bouillon. Just wait, I will find you someday. Now I am grating around 1 to 1.5 cups cheese. I am using Colby Jack because it's what I have, but I have made this with Monterey Jack and Pepper Jack and it comes out great. Then you will need to cut up a 1-pound smoked sausage or kielbasa. I like to cut mine into smaller pieces because I like them to really be browned. It gives this dish so much more flavor. She got time and she knows what to figure out. This ain't in a dream, a place where it seems that love will come around. So don't stay, you regret it all too much. Then to my pan that is on medium-high heat, I am adding around a tablespoon of olive oil. Then I am just going to add the smoked sausage and stir it while it's browning to make sure to get all sides. Everything she got from her. You got time, and you know what to figure out. This ain't in a dream, a place where... Now, go ahead and add your diced onion to the pan and saute that for about 3 minutes. And then add in 2 large cloves of minced garlic and cook that for another 30 seconds or so. I will find you someday. She left her home to find where she belongs. Mother's scared to leave her. Then you are going to add in your chicken broth, a can of Rotel diced tomatoes with green chilies, a 1/2 cup of heavy cream, and a 1/2 teaspoon each of salt and pepper. That love will come around, so don't stay.
Just wait.
Next, you will add in 8 ounces of uncooked penne pasta and stir that and make sure that your pasta is under as much of the liquid as possible. Then you will bring that to a boil and reduce your heat to medium-low and add a lid to your pan. Then go ahead and simmer that for around 15 minutes or until your pasta is tender. Once that is done, go ahead and turn your heat off and then just stir in your 1 to 1.5 cups of cheese.
This ain't in a dream, a place where it seems that love will come around. So don't stay.
This is one of my favorite one-pot meals. It has lots of flavor and is very filling. I just serve this with a side salad. This next meal is cilantro potatoes. I went ahead and brought a large pot of water to a boil, and then I am going to add in around 2 to 2.5 pounds of peeled potatoes. I am using gold potatoes. You will rarely find me using russet potatoes. The flavor and texture of the golds are just so much better in my opinion. Boil them until they are fork tender. Your fork should be able to pierce them easily and the potato should still slide off of the fork. You don't want them fully soft or you will be making mashed potatoes. While those are boiling, I am just getting my cilantro ready. So I went ahead and rinsed off 2 bunches of cilantro. I don't remove the tie when I clean it because it makes it easier to keep it together, and I cut it right above the tie as my guide. I gave my cilantro a rough chop, but it really isn't necessary because it will cook down. I'm also removing any big stems that I still saw remaining.
You regret it all.
While I sliced my potatoes, I put a pan to heat on high heat and added enough oil to coat the bottom pretty well, maybe around 1/4 cup of oil. And apparently I didn't get the footage of me actually cutting the potatoes, so here I am just showing you the size and thickness I had cut them to. You will see later that I prefer them cut smaller. Anyways, go ahead and add them to your oil and give them a good fry to your liking, flipping them occasionally to fry both sides. While I was cooking them, I was using my spatula to cut some of the big pieces in half, and later when adding them to the meat, I broke them up even more.
This ain't in a dream, a place where it seems that love will come around. So don't stay. You regret it all too much. Just wait. I will find you someday. She left her home to find where she belongs. Her mother's kids.
Go ahead and set those potatoes aside when they are done. I'm using the same pan to cook the meat, so I just transfer them to the pot I boiled them in.
She got time and she knows what to figure out. This ain't in a dream, a place where it seems that love will come around. So don't stay.
Now I am adding 1 pound of ground turkey to my pan on medium-high heat, and I'm using my meat chopper to break that up.
I will find you someday. So the same, yeah, she does not know.
I don't have exact measurements for the seasonings. I just like to flavor my meat pretty well with some garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, and some salt and pepper, and then a little bit of red chili flakes.
And you know what to figure out. This ain't in a dream, a place where it seems that love will come. don't stay. You regret it all too much. Just wait, I will find you someday. She left her home to find where she belongs. Her mother's scared to leave her all alone. But she got time, and she knows what to figure out. This ain't in a dream, a place where it seems.
Once the meat is cooked, just add in your cilantro and cook that down for a few minutes. Then go ahead and add in your fried potatoes.
Just wait, I will find you someday. So the same, yeah, she does not know.
First, I am taking a half of a cucumber that I peeled and slicing that down the middle so that I can hull the seeds out of using a spoon. They easily scrape out and it will help to not make your sauce more runny. Then, go ahead and cut that into bite-sized pieces. I'm also adding in around 4 cloves of garlic that I had minced. I love me some garlic. If you don't, then use less or not at all.
She left her home to find where she belongs. Her mother's scared to leave her all alone. But she got time, and she knows what to figure out. This ain't in a dream, a place where it seems that love will come around. So don't stay.
This is one of those things I have never really measured out when making. I just use a ratio of yogurt to cucumber that I like. And I season it to taste by adding in salt, lemon juice, and dried mint. I also love using fresh dill, but I was so sad to see that mine had gone bad. I could put this sauce on almost anything. I love it that much.
Everything she got from her. You got time, and you know what to figure out. This ain't in a dream, a place where it seems that love will come around. So don't stay. You regret it all too much. Just wait, I will find you someday.
I serve this with pita bread, and we always buy a big bag of pita from Sam's Club and put parchment paper in between each one, and I freeze it when I get it because it heats so well. I just heat it in my Omni for around 4 to 5 minutes, flipping it halfway. I've been eating this meal for like 15 years now, and I will never get tired of it. My boyfriend basically licks his plate clean, y'all. This last meal is some buffalo mac and cheese. I'm starting off by heavily salting a large pot of boiling water. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in 8 ounces of elbow macaroni noodles and cooking them until my desired doneness which is al dente.
You regret it all too much. Just wait.
I went ahead and drained my noodles, and I'm using the same pot and melting 3 tablespoons of butter. Once that butter is melted, I went ahead and added in 3 tablespoons of flour, and I'm just going to stir that until smooth.
Everything she got from her.
Then add in 2 cups of milk and a half a teaspoon each of salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and give that a good stir and let it come to a boil.
Place where it seems that love will come around. So don't stay. You regret it all too much. Just wait. I will find you someday.
Once it begins to boil, you will reduce your heat to low and add in 4 ounces of cream cheese and a cup and a half to 2 cups of grated cheese. I'm using some cheddar cubes that I needed to use up here, and because I'm using cheddar cubes, I have to do the extra work of adding some in and then stirring and then adding some in until they all melt again. While that was melting, I'm adding a half a cup of a mixture of buffalo sauce and hot sauce to about a cup and a half of shredded chicken. I already had some cooked shredded chicken to use for this, but you can make some fresh chicken and shred it, or even use a rotisserie chicken for this. Once your cheese has melted, you're going to add in your chicken and then your cooked macaroni and give that a good mix.
You regret it all too much. Just wait. I will find you someday. So the same, yeah, she does not know.
We rarely have buffalo chicken here because my boyfriend isn't a huge fan of spicy, but even he enjoyed this, and I think some blue cheese crumbles would have been amazing on it. So I served this up with some crescent rolls and a salad. Thanks for watching, friends. Don't forget to join my YouTube family so you don't miss out on any of my future What's for Dinner videos. I hope y'all are having a good week.
So don't stay.